Hi, everyone. I'm immigration lawyer John. Thank you for joining us today. It's Wednesday, March 31st, 5 p.m. Pacific time. Every Wednesday, we come here live to take your immigration questions and general stuff that you have that you want to get more information on and give general kind of guidance. Just because you never know, without reviewing a particular case in person, it's really hard to give exact advice. But we're here to help you out with that kind of stuff. We're doing a special thing this time, which is providing a raffle kind of thing, a lottery where a subscriber to the YouTube channel who likes and puts a comment and also adds in the comment consultation raffle. I'll be updating the name every time. Will contact you. One person will be a winner, and within 24 hours, they'll contact you to say you get a 15 to 20-minute free video consultation to discuss the immigration issue that you have. So definitely check that out. It's going to be a fun thing to do. I think you'll all like it. And you'll do more and more, see how the reception is. The other good news is that the travel ban that affected H-1B holders and L-1 holders will be expiring, and President Biden has not indicated that they are going to be renewing that. So a lot of people have these work visas or ability to get these work visas, but they were not able to actually get them for the embassy issuing them due to the travel ban for those particular categories. That will be opening up, but the problem still exists that many embassies are not scheduling appointments, so people are not able to get in the embassy to get the visa issued. It's still a mess. It's still not clear when things are going to get fixed up, but it's a little better now. So with that, let's get it started. All right, everyone, thanks again for joining. We're going to take your question momentarily. I just spoke about the good news about the Biden administration deciding not to pursue the H-1B L1 ban, which is going to affect a lot of people, especially people in India. That's one of the main parts in the country, of the world, that are hit by this. And also a reminder that if you watch on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe, and comment that you would like to enter into the free consultation raffle. And we'll try to pick one person after every live to have a 15, 20-minute consultation to video to see what's going on and if there's any guidance extra we give for your case so you can know that. So I wanted to fill you in on that as the questions are coming in. Kimberly Burst, our first question asks, are receipt notices still late? Unfortunately, yes. They are with USCIS. When you submit a case, usually and historically, 2 or 3 weeks later to get a receipt notice, whatever case it was. Some cases are still coming within 3 to 4 weeks, but the vast majority of cases are taking anywhere from 6 weeks, a month and a half, to 3 months. And it's horrible that it's taking that long. It's very, very weird situation, but that is happening. And so be prepared. A lot of people are frustrated, confused, wondering why is this the case. That it's kind of bizarre that they would take this long, but that is the case. They are taking this long, so they are taking a while. So be prepared for that if you have any type of case. Noor Ahmed says hello to you too, Noor. Thank you for joining us. It's much appreciated. Now we have TikTok right here. Apparently our connection on TikTok keeps going on and off. So hopefully our friends there can watch. We're also here on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and a lot of other programs to take your questions live. So shoot them out. We'll be happy to answer them here. So, the issues with the receipts is bad, but another question is, are biometrics notices coming? And that's another inconsistency right there, because typically biometrics appointments used to come a month after getting a receipt notice. Now they're taking 7, 8, 9 months. I'm getting a lot of people who have naturalization, citizenship cases pending, and they're having problems and they're not getting a notices, and it's really stressing them out. And so they're contacting me. What's wrong? Is there anything I could do? Not really in these kind of cases. Not much you can do because it's not up to you. You have to wait for them to schedule it. And so once that happens, then you'll get your biometrics. For the most part, it shouldn't be an issue. And I can't comment on individual cases because I don't know if there's something particular wrong with your case, but they are taking a while. And that's just a situation happening right now with biometrics appointments. Biometrics being the fingerprint appointment that you take for your green card case and stuff like that, or a citizenship case, or renewal of your green card. All these different kind of things, they take a while. Now I have biometric appointments for some green card cases that are coming consistently at the regular time, and others are taking a long time. So there's no regular thing I could say this or that. It's just the whole thing is bad. That's just the way things are happening right now. As Stefan asks, if a green card is permanent legal status, is DACA temporary legal status? So DACA is not legal status, and that's really important to know. Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals is a program that's created that says although you're here without permission and you should be removed from the United States, go to court and be deported potentially, we're just not going to pursue your case at this time. It's prosecutorial discretion. It's not considered status. And so, it's hard to explain this. And so a lot of people, even lawyers, will say, okay, you have DACA status or something like that, but it's not status. It's not something you can use to then get a green card or something like that. It just means they're not going to come after you. They're not going to pay attention to you. That's all it is. So if you have DACA, you don't have legal status. You just have deferred action. It's a decision not to prosecute you for a temporary period and to give you a work permit. That's all that is. Nur Ahmed asks, can I wait in the U.S. until I get a decision on my nunc-pro-tunc request? My I-94 and H-1B visas are expired. So this person had an H-1B visa, so work visa. It expired, and it seems what they mean is they filed an extension that was denied, and there was error for that, or they filed the extension late. And so you do a thing called nunc-pro-tunc NPT, nunc-pro-tunc. You say, although I filed this late and that's a problem, I'm filing it late now, please fix it up and make it as it was, as if I didn't file it late. And so your question is, can you stay in the United States till you get a decision? Well, unless the case is approved, and we don't know if it's going to be approved or not, you are accumulating unlawful presence time. And so, because your case is denied, so there's a decision on there. I can't say it's denied. I haven't seen your case exactly what happened, so I can't say for sure. Inevitably, whether to stay in the United States or not during a nunc-pro-tunc filing is a personal decision, whether you think it's appropriate or not, or whether you want to take the risk. Because if it's denied, you may end up accumulating more unlawful presence time. It could lead to 3 or 10-year bar. I can't advise you as to what to do. I'd have a full consultation for you to make a judgment decision on your own if it's something that you want to do. Kimberly asks, filed an AOS adjustment of status on March 11th, filed Form G1145, but didn't get a receipt notice. It's stressing. Kimberly, I just talked about this right now. You may not have caught it, but the reality is March 11th was only 20 days ago. And these receipt notices are taking 2 to 3 months sometimes. I know it's stressful. If there's an error on the case get rejected, it'll take forever to get notice of it, but there is delays. Abdullah asks, after the green card, how can I remove restrictions on the social security number? What is the process? What documents are needed? So this isn't necessarily an immigration question. This goes to the Social Security office. You have to update them. They have a special form for that. But best to just call the Social Security office or go to their local office and schedule an appointment there, and to let them know with proof of the green card that you are a green card holder, so they can reissue a new Social Security card that doesn't have those restrictions that say limiting words on it. That's the proper way to go. I don't want to get into giving exact legal guidance here because it's not necessarily an immigration question, and it could be different for your specific case. But contact the Social Security office. That's the place to deal with that there. Eversley asks, why is USCIS taking so long to complete an I-485 application? Well, they always took long, and every case is different. Some are longer, some are shorter. But if it was me, it wouldn't take more than a day, but it's not up to me. So you just have to wait for them to do it. You can always file a lawsuit if it's taking way too long. Kimberly follows up, for someone renewing their 10-year green card, do they have to do the biometrics now? Is the extension for the 1 year valid? Your second question, I don't understand what you're saying, but when you're renewing certain things, yeah, you have to get biometrics. That's the way it is. Is the extension for the 1 year valid? If you got the extension notice, then it's a valid extension notice. I don't know what's confusing about that, but normally when you file for an I-90 renewal, you will need to do a fingerprinting appointment. And Nur Ahmed says, thank you for the question. Thank you, Nur Ahmed. Najeg asks, is it normal to not have a receipt after 5 months of filing the Form I-589? 5 months is a little too far, too long. You should contact USCIS, contact Lockbox. Hopefully you had mailing confirmation to show that you did mail it, because that's kind of too long. So that's something that you want to keep an eye out. Sugar Love asks, hello again. Is there any way I can bypass the affidavit of support to be completed by my U.S. citizen sister? Is it absolutely necessary? I don't know who your petitioner is, Sugar Love. I can't remember our last conversation, but a family-based case, unless you have a lot of assets, the petitioner always has to file an affidavit of support. There's no way around that. But I don't know enough about your case the way you asked, so I can't fully answer that. We have a question on TikTok. When will immigration open? Immigration is open. And then Lady Baki asks, estimate how many days will someone receive Social Security after work permit sent home. There is no estimate. It varies. Juliana asks, how can I ask a question? Just how you asked right now. If I was going to be completed. Sandeep asked on TikTok, hello, sir. Good evening. Almost 5 months ago, my I-485 interview is completed, but didn't get a green card yet. I don't know about your case. I can't respond without knowing what's going on. Dadu says, how long after I get my residency can I join the military? Green card holders can join the military. I'm not sure the requirements, but I think they can. But you should talk with the military about that. I don't have that answer. Sunny asked, USCIS administratively closed I-485, but now judge approved I-485. Do I need to send mail USCIS? That if you're in court and stuff, you should talk with an attorney in private to help you with that. Fowles asks, can I file for citizenship if I stay 199 days at America in the last year? You could potentially file it, but you have to have a reason why you've been outside for too long and show that your life was here. So it's not guaranteed to be approved. Juliana asks, who can receive people entering into the States? Who can receive people entering into the States? That doesn't make sense to me, the question, so I can't answer that. But as a reminder, we are doing this free consultation raffle. I'm going to do a consultation with one of our YouTube subscribers. And so if you are a subscriber, like and comment and let me know you'd like to enter the raffle, and we'll figure out a way to contact you to schedule that free consultation. We're going to pick one person out of the group, but I think it'd be a fun thing to do. So definitely take advantage of that. Kash asks, I applied for citizenship July 2020, still waiting. Yeah, that's just normal wait time, so you just gotta wait a little longer. Facebook user asks, good evening, sir. I hope you're doing well. I have a question. Why is the transfer of my case from Texas to California? Because they did, sometimes one office is overwhelmed, so they send it to another office for additional help. And Stefan asks, undocumented are not eligible for federal benefits. Are they eligible for state and local benefits under the 10th Amendment? It's not really a 10th Amendment issue here, but each state has its own benefits. Like California, if you're undocumented, you still go to school and get certain aid and stuff like that. It really depends on the state, what your background is, what kind of aid you like, what the exceptional circumstances are. It's not a general blanket statement that I could answer there. Faisig on TikTok asks, I lost my green card. That's why I stayed over. Well, there's ways to, if you lost your green card, you could apply for a special document, get back in or something like that. I'd have to review your individual case. Sandy asks, what if I leave my pending asylum case after I obtain my green card marriage base? Well, if you got your green card, you don't need to have your asylum case anymore. You could take it back, but I'd want to review the case to make sure they don't accuse you of falsely filing an asylum case first. So you should talk with an immigration attorney to review the asylum case and make a decision on whether what to do and how to explain that before withdrawing it. But if you got your green card, you don't need to have it open anymore. It's just paperwork that's pending that you don't need to have. Faisha asks, what is NBC and why they transfer I-751 after 38 months? Well, for the national benefits, NBC is one of the locations that could handle these kind of cases. It seems that they transfer it there. And removal of condition for I-751, it shouldn't take 38 months. That's 3 years. That's exceptionally long. You should contact appropriate authorities to look into that. It's a kind of a peculiar thing that is taking that long. I would definitely, figure something out about it. Okay, now to my assistant. Let's see. Norma, can you please comment? Can you please comment on this? If I leave the U.S. before 180 days unlawful presence, can that cause a problem for re-entry in the U.S. in the future? Yeah, that can. If you do that, that's problematic. So if let's say you overstay your status, but not up to less than 180 days, because more than 180 days can lead to a 3-year bar. If you leave, they're always going to judge you that you overstayed once, and it could work against you. That's just the way it is. A human being asks, I-824 processing times have increased up to 7.5 years to tax service. Any comment, please? So sometimes you have a case that you start in the U.S. and you want then have a transfer to the embassy system. So you use form I-824. It's a horrible form because it takes forever. It's not well designed, and the timelines are crazy on it. I wouldn't rely on USCIS timelines and what they say there. They're never consistent. But that's why you really want to avoid having to do the I-824, because it's extra money I have to spend, and it's really inconsistent as to how long it takes. I've even had them approved, and I have to call the government for 6 months to actually act on it. So we had a case that started in the U.S. We had to go through the embassy system later. We got the I-824 approved, and once it was approved, I had to call them about 5 or 6 times, be on the phone for an hour each time over a period of 4 or 5 or 6 months, until finally a supervisor of a supervisor got it, apologized, and then transfer the case. It's really messy situation on how they're dealing with these I-240s. So you really want to avoid it. And if you get hit by it, there's no choice. Just stay on top of it. Call them up too once it's approved. Sure they do their job. Unsung Hero asks, is there any way I could be refused an I-551 stamp? I have an info passport to get this. Yeah, it's discretionary. They could do it if they want to. I mean, they shouldn't, but everything is discretionary. Nuron says, got it. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. You're welcome. God bless. Sherman Bowen asks, hi, can a marriage interview stop an asylum procedure? They're unrelated things. So the interview doesn't do anything to stop the asylum procedure. It's just their own separate things. All right, let's see. Cash asks, how long is the process for bringing a U.S. citizen spouse to USA? It varies depending on the country, the travel ban is affected, the case. So, hopefully 1 year, maybe 3 years, who knows? Let's see. Unsung Hero says, thank you, you're welcome on TikTok. Next question. Unsung Hero follows up. I'm waiting on I-751, been pending 2 years, had interview last December. So you've had your interview last December, 3 months have gone by, so they still haven't approved your case. That's not a good situation. So I'm not really sure the best with that is maybe contact a congressperson, but I'd want to review your case first and how the interview went. If it's not approved already, maybe the interview didn't go well. So you got to recap what happened, what documents did you not have, what's going on that the case hasn't been approved already. Chandra Rao asks, when I ported from EB2 to EB3 to EB2, my priority date is not properly ported. Instead of March 6th, they did it March 16th. What do I need to do to correct the priority date? Will you contact USCIS through our online system or call them to say there's an error on the priority date? And that's that. Has asked, has there been any changes for asylum seekers under new law? Well, there is no new law. So there's here and there. I would see what your specific situation is, but there is no necessarily new law. Let me ask, can I apply for naturalization after reaching 4.5 years with the green card process to process it faster? No, you have to wait 90 days before the 5-year mark of having your green card. That's the earliest you can do it. Or if you're married to a U.S. citizen, 90 days before the 33-year mark of getting your green card. And after having been married to a U.S. citizen for 3 years, that's the fastest that it could go, unless there's special exceptions for like military or something like that. I'm not too familiar with. But you just have to wait your time. But there's also other requirements of like physical presence, being in the U.S. enough, all this kind of stuff that comes into play that you got to be mindful of and pay attention to be able to process that. Kimberly asks, can't someone who migrated to the United States as a nurse, was given a 2-year green card, travel back to their home country for a visit, migrated in February 2021? So I'm not sure of your question, because if you immigrate to the U.S. as a nurse, you would just get a 10-year green card, meaning you got your green card based on being a nurse. They would give you a 10-year green card. If they give you a 2-year green card, that probably means either you're an investor, which there's no indication of that, or you married a person and got your green card through marriage. So that's something completely different, has nothing to do with being a nurse. And so then I'd have to look at your case and see, well, what's going on with the marriage, when's the removal of condition times, all this kind of stuff. So Kimberly, I can't answer your question because there's too many issues, seems that don't click for me, so I can't answer that. Sing Soul has to have a 10-year green card through marriage. Can I be able to marry and apply for my wife? Remarry and apply for my wife. So you have a 10-year green card through marriage. I'm assuming you got divorced and now you want to remarry and apply for your new wife. It is possible, but we need to review the situation so they don't accuse you of fraud. Now we got to see, well, was the first marriage real or not? In case they come back and say, I didn't believe that first marriage. I don't want that to be a problem. So I need to review that. Maybe it's possible, but I need to see the whole thing to see what's going on with your case. Luxme says, thank you, you're welcome. MB Payne says, send the likes to the host. Well, thank you, MB Payne. I appreciate the likes that you sent over. Much appreciated. All right, so thank you everyone for joining. It's a quick reminder, we're having a free raffle the first time. I'm not sure how the logistics of this is actually going to work out, but you can get a free consultation. You usually get $250 to $500 value, free, 15 to 20-minute consultation for one of our lucky subscribers on the YouTube page. So subscribe, like, and leave a comment asking that you want to be in the raffle, and we'll figure out a way to pick a random person, contact them, and say, hey, let's set it up, send you a link. So just let me know. Do that, subscribe, and comment, and we'll get you a free consultation potentially in this lottery system. So really happy to help. Look forward to it too. But just let me know, and then that'd be fun. And so we have a question from Sheena. I came to U.S. on a B2 visa, and I got married to my now U.S. citizen husband 6 days later. I now understand this is fraud. What should I do now? My husband and I have not filed any papers. Well, it's not necessarily fraud. You can come to the United States on a tourist visa and get married. Actually, this is really important. So, I do this video. There's other immigration that do videos, and several of them in this scenario will say you did fraud, you're going to misrepresentation, get denied. And I had a consultation with a guy 9 months ago, and he had done the situation, and he came to the U.S. to visit his girlfriend. They got excited, they got married, and then COVID-19 hit, and they decided to just stay in the United States and not leave and file for a green card of their own. And then they read about this 90-day rule, and they're freaking out. They called a bunch of YouTube lawyers. All of them said he committed fraud. You need to leave the country immediately. Request the waiver. I said, that's crazy talk. Just go to your interview. Nothing's going to happen. And sure enough, 2 days ago, went to the interview. Nothing happened. He got the green card because he didn't intend to stay. You could get married in the United States. That's no problem. It's if you lie to an officer, if you're married to a U.S. citizen. Let me specify. If you're marrying a U.S. citizen, they don't harp on this unless you literally lie to a visa officer and there's proof of it. Lie to a port officer at the airport. The reality is people come and they decide to get married on a whim. Maybe they were planning on getting married 6 months in the future, but they moved their plans forward, and then they decided to change their mind. When it comes to U.S. citizen marriage cases, unless there's really indication of fraud, that's not a problem. So I need to, Sheena, review your case in private to see what's going on there. But I wouldn't necessarily say you did fraud. So you got married and your husband's a U.S. citizen. I don't know. I wouldn't be too worried about that, but I need to know the facts of your case. We'd have to have a longer conversation. Now, a quick reminder about timelines. I talk about this a lot. Timelines are not clear with immigration. Some are longer, some are shorter. Some embassies are closed, some are open. Some field offices have more staff, some have less staff. One of our colleagues, I think he's in Montana, apparently they only have like one USCIS officer interviewing cases instead of like the 4 or 5 they usually have. So imagine you only have one person reviewing things, 5 people reviewing things, your case is going to take longer, So these are the situations that are happening. Just the best thing I can say is you got to stay patient. Hazy follows up, under Biden's proposed law, what are the major changes for asylum? There's proposals about immigration law every week in Congress, every president, every congressperson. It's not realistic to go through each one of these. And I don't, I can make a lot of views on my to say, oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. But until something happens, all this is clickbait. So I'm not going to say, oh, they said this and all that. They said a lot of things. We'll wait to see what happens, and then we'll talk about it. Marta asked, I want to invite my sister for my graduation on May, but she's pregnant. Do you think that is an issue? Well, Trump did make it where if they think you're going to have a child in the United States, they'll deny your visa. But, your sister could go to your visa appointment, let them know she's pregnant, say she doesn't intend to have a child in the United States, but she wants to see her sister. She should have enough money to show her some sort of insurance to show that if she does all of a sudden have the baby, she can pay for the medical costs and the like. But if you give it a shot. Now, keep in mind, I get this question a lot. You want to send an invitation to your sister. You're not sending an invitation, not doing anything for her. Your sister is applying on her own for a visa. There's no invitation coming from you. Mama's baby asks, so I'm filing for a K1 visa for my fiance in Tunisia. Well, congratulations on getting engaged. It says processing times 5 to 7 months to approve or deny the case. I'm literally 18 days from the 7-month mark period. Can it take longer to get approved? Yes. As I say all the time, these timelines have no meaning. They're just there in case you want to sue them. There's some timeline they can work with, but then that's not going to affect you anyway. The reality is it could be longer, and so it is what it is. So don't keep looking at these timelines. They're not reliable. Sorry about the barking dogs. What happens when you work from home? All right, so next question. Sherman asks, I applied for asylum, but I've been in the U.S. for almost 5 years. I got married. What happens to my case? Sherman, you got a complicated question. First of all, I need to see how you entered the United States. I got to see if you married a U.S. citizen or a green card holder. I have to see whether you're in immigration court or you're doing an affirmative asylum hearing. There's been a decision about your asylum, whether your asylum is believable or not, what your personal history is. So Sherman, schedule a private consultation so we can look at what's going on with your case, because I can't answer that question in the way that's right up there. Shaheen asks, I'm married to a U.S. citizen. I'm on an F1 student visa, but we don't have enough money to file right now. I'm going to take OPT and make money and then file the I-485 with EB-2 and take advantage of whichever one comes first. Can I file another? Yeah, so you can file multiple adjustments. It's going to cause confusion in the system. If you're married to a U.S. citizen, just tell your employer, hey, instead of paying all this money for the EB-2, just give me the money and have me just pay for my marriage case. It's more of a sure thing. I think you can have 2 I-485s pending. I don't see why not. But you know, if you want, I mean, you don't have money right now, you want to blow more money, you know, talk with their lawyer, see what they say. Okay, Peter asks, work without authorization is forgiven when you're married to a U.S. citizen. But what if the alien engaged in unauthorized work within 30 days of entry through a tourist visa? Well, in the U.S., it doesn't matter if you're doing adjustment of status. Really, they could accuse you of fraud if you came in with the intent and you lied at the border. So if they ask, "Are you planning on working?" You said no. They wrote that down or something. At the embassy, this would be a major problem. But if you're doing adjustment of status, probably not a problem. But I need to know more facts about your entry, how that happened, what you told them there, how planned this all was, all this kind of stuff. If it, you know, you may have came on a tourist visa and a job opportunity popped up for you, and then so it's like, okay, you didn't lie to anybody, it just popped up. So, and then once you work, what kind of documentation or paperwork did you do to get the job? Did you get a fake passport, a U.S. passport, to get a job and use, you know? So that's a crime right there. It could be a big problem. So it really depends on the particular factor or case, Peter. I'd have to research that out, see what's going on. Mama's Baby says, "Oh man, thank you, LO. You're welcome, Mama's Baby. I hopefully I answered your question." Oh yeah, you have a question about timelines. Yeah, timelines suck. You can't rely on them. Hopefully we'll get done sooner rather than later. Duty R says, "Wife did a visa overstay. Anything on the horizon for her?" I need more information about what kind of visa was overstayed. You know, what your relationship is, what your immigration status is. So I don't know. I have to get more information about that. Activities can I have medicated with a green card that affects ST the moment applying for citizenship? Actually, your question doesn't make sense to me. Please rephrase your question, and we'll take it from there. Excuse me. Or actually, we're coming at the end of the show, so get to a couple last questions in, and we'll get it done. Alex says, "I just got my EB2 EAD. I started using it. How can I bring my wife here?" Alex, you need that's the EAD doesn't matter, but if you got the EB2 adjustment filing, you should have filed an IA-24 if your wife is overseas. If you have a previous H-1B case, maybe get her on H-4. Alex, definitely consult immigration as soon as possible. You don't want your green card case to be approved before the time that you make the appropriate paperwork. So schedule a consultation as soon as possible. info@jklaw.com so you can check out what's going on and take it from there. And we'll take one more question. Sorry, everyone's coming to end the show, but you know, if you're a YouTube listener, like, comment, and subscribe. We have 2 YouTube pages. We're at the JQK Law Firm page and the JQK Immigration Clips page. Comment on there. Say, thanks for the show. Like, subscribe, and then say, free consultation raffle. And I'm gonna randomly pick one and get to you. So we'll see how it goes. All right. So last question. Amin Deep says, "Sir, I applied for the I-765 before 2 months. Can I send or upload more documents? Please reply." I mean, why would you want to send more documents for a work permit I-765? So I need to see what's going on, why you want to do that, why exceptional circumstances would exist that would need that. Okay, so let's take another question. One more question in here. Let's see. We got a bunch of questions. Wow, we got backed up a little bit there. So one more question. I'm going to randomly choose. Let's see, TikTok. If you get denied for a visitor visa, can you apply for green card through family? Okay, so this is our last question, everybody. If you get denied for a tourist visa, it depends on why you were denied. So if they denied you for a tourist visa, and then you want to get a family-based case, if they denied you because they said we're afraid you're going to come to the United States and not go back home, you're going to overstay and stay in the United States, that doesn't typically become problematic for a future green card case. Now, some officers may find that problematic very rarely. I've seen it, but it's very rare. But on its own, that's not much of a problem. It's just a general denial. But if they deny your tourist visa case because you lied to them, made up some sort of fraud, and they accuse you of fraud and deny your case, and that will become a major problem for any future immigration benefit. So just no lying. And most of the time, tourist visa is not a problem. But I've seen random officers read it the wrong way. I wouldn't be too worried about that. That's more of the exception rather than the regular rule. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Immigration Lawyer John Khosravi. I forgot to even talk about the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. This free ebook I have guide that breaks down the marriage green card process from beginning to end. Please check it out by going to www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. You'll learn all the A to Z strategies about it. Then schedule a consultation. We'll be back again next week, Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time, doing live here on Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, and YouTube on the various pages, 2 Facebook pages, 2 LinkedIn, one LinkedIn page, but 2 YouTube pages and TikTok. And hey, if you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, and comment that you want to enter the free consultation raffle, and we'll see if you get picked. It'd be nice to speak with you, talk for 15, 20 minutes to see how we can help. All right, everyone, until next one, God bless, be safe, see you soon.